of tranquility here at Clemson. But in Memorial Stadium today, it will be anything but. Welcome to Death Valley, where over 85,000 are here to celebrate an ACC division title as Clemson meets Virginia now. One more trip down the hill on Senior Day into Death Valley for a Heisman candidate. C.J. Spiller greets 85,000 here at Clemson. What an amazing scene. One of the best in college football. And we welcome you here to Death Valley as Clemson takes on the Virginia Cavaliers. One last hug from his head coach, Dabo Swinney. It's Virginia taking on number 23 Clemson. For the Tigers, with a win, they would lock up their first ever outright Atlantic Division title. But the fans here and Dabo Swinney already celebrating the fact that they've won their division in the ACC, clinching with the Boston College loss to North Carolina. So the Tigers will indeed have their rematch with Georgia Tech in the ACC championship game. Now, Clemson hasn't won the ACC overall since 1991. So a tremendous opportunity for the Tigers this afternoon. Hi again, everyone. I'm Bob Wischusen alongside Brian Greasy. So many storylines and one of the best scenes in all of college football.
Well, it was a great scene right there watching C.J. Spiller go down the tunnel. It was an unbelievable spot to be in.
Obviously, C.J. Spiller not only has a chance to maybe win a conference title in his senior season, but a Heisman Trophy as well.
Well, he certainly is. He'll continue to make his case for the Heisman Trophy today. He's probably had one of the best seasons of any player in college football this year. Every time he steps on the field, he's averaging close to 200 yards of all-purpose offense, and he's doing it in a myriad of different ways. Kick returns, punt returns, rushing 6 touchdowns, receiving 4 touchdowns, and then to add insult to injury, he throws a touchdown pass to make it the quintuple threat. He has just been the catalyst for this Clemson team in their resurgent season, winning the last 5 games.
Speaking of a catalyst, Dabo Swinney, as the head coach, obviously taking his team potentially to sites they haven't seen since 1991 here, and one more chance for these seniors to rub Howard's Rock and come down the hill.
Well, and I think for Dabo Swinney to get this team back on track after starting 2-3, he deserves to be in the hunt for ACC Coach of the Year, in my opinion.
Here come the Tigers. It's what college football is all about. Clemson and Virginia a moment away. Days like today, it's why you live in South Carolina. 62 degrees, sunny skies, calm winds, and we're a week away from Thanksgiving. What a scene for college football as Clemson hosts Virginia. And Brian, one of the coaches squarely on the hot seat is Al Groh. Obviously at his alma mater, but this season, if they lose with a couple of losses and they take on Clemson on the road and then Virginia Tech in their last game of the season, he could end up 3-9 and potentially not at the helm in Virginia next year.
Well, for Al Groh, he's got a tremendous experience, over 40 years coaching in the ranks, and he's known for his knowledge of the game, and he's such a great person off the field, tremendous teacher on the field. But the one problem is they've only had one winning season at Virginia in the last 4 years, and that's a problem for the faithful of the Cavaliers and for Al Groh's future.
I know you were out in front about 5 weeks ago of C.J. Spiller possibly being a Heisman candidate, and it seems like the momentum has built. Obviously, Dabo Swinney's going to do the best that he can to publicize his star tailback, but what do you think his realistic chances are?
I think he should be in the discussion. I mean, we had the Miami game, 310 yards all-purpose, and he comes back and bests that at Florida State with 312 yards. The thing I like about C.J. Spiller is he is a humble individual. He is about the team. This Heisman race has not been about him. It's been about this entire Clemson team, and I like that.
Virginia won the toss. They will receive, and we'll see if Virginia, obviously playing for pride, can somehow match the Tigers in Death Valley today. Clemson has won 5 in a row. And we are underway as Chase Minifield from inside his own 5-yard line. Out to the 24. So a chance for the senior Jamil Sewell to finish on an up note. He's got 6 touchdowns throwing. He's got 5 touchdowns rushing. He's 5th all-time at Virginia in total yards thrown, although he has an offense that has struggled mightily to put points on the board.
They really have. They're last in a lot of different categories in the ACC offensively, and for them to win this game, they've got to be able to run the football and shorten the game, keep the ball away from Clemson.
We expect Rashawn Jackson to be the workhorse today, and he loses the football on the first play of the game. Clemson thinks they have it. Could you script a worse start for the Cavaliers?
The last thing that you want to have happen if you're Al Groh and the Cavaliers, and the ball looked like it was put right into Jackson's belly there, and sometimes early in the football game you have some jitters. A good handoff there by Sewell. And you just have to secure the handoff if you're the quarterback and the running back. That's the first priority. And right there, maybe a little bit of jitters on the first play in Death Valley in a hostile environment.
So right to work, the redshirt freshman quarterback Kyle Parker. And Spiller the lone setback. Here goes C.J. Spiller inside the 20-yard line. Now, Kyle Parker could end up being every bit as much a baseball star as a football star here at Clemson.
Well, he certainly could. He has had a tremendous career already on the baseball diamond. He's a specialty home run hitter, done a lot for this baseball team, but he's trying to do more this year for the football team and set a record for touchdowns as a freshman. And he is learning each and every week, and he is a big reason why this team has won their last 5 games.
Spiller turns the corner, and he has a first down. Let's take a look at the impact players for Clemson.
Well, we've talked a lot about C.J. Spiller, but soon you're going to focus on him. His partner in crime, Jacoby Ford, will beat you. He's the fastest player on the field, and he's a threat to take it the distance. Senior defensive end Ricky Sapp has had 10 tackles for loss and 4 sacks on the year, and DeAndre McDaniel leads a talented secondary, which leads the country in interceptions with 20.
Carries the mail again, and he's inside the 10-yard line, down at about the 9. Well, C.J. Spiller has scored at least 1 touchdown in every game this season, and he is such an explosive player. For his career, 44 touchdowns, but 20 of those 44 touchdowns have been 50 yards or more. 8 touchdowns this season alone of 50 yards or more.
Yeah, it's really, he's had broken 26 different records here at Clemson, and he has just done it all from the tailback position and a leader on this football team.
Spiller finds a crease inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Denzel Burrell made the stop for Virginia.
And for Virginia, obviously not the way they wanted to start this football game, but this defense with an early opportunity on the road to get a stop here on 3rd and 2. They have not been bad defensively. They've been on the field way too much this season. Al Groh was telling us that the time of possession has really killed this football team in a lot of games this year, but they're the 7th-ranked defense in the ACC, so they've had some success.
Hand off to the fullback, Chad Deal on a dive. He lost the football. And it looks like Clemson found it at the bottom of the pile. Sets up 4th down. The crowd, of course, wants Dabo Swinney to go for it. Thomas Austin, the left guard, recovered the fumble.
And
his offense is going to stay out there.
Yeah, it looks like Dabo wants to go for it.
Kicking the football has been an adventure for this team this season. Richard Jackson, the primary place kicker, has missed 4 of his last 7 field goals, and they've missed 5 extra points in their last 2 games. So on 4th and 2, Clemson will go for it. Parker to throw. Can he turn the corner? Pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line. He didn't get it. Nate Collins stretched the play out and pushed Kyle Parker out at the 5-yard line. What a job by the Virginia defense to get Clemson turned over on downs after the fumble on the opening possession.
I don't know about that play call. You only need 1 yard. Questionable.
Our first questionable play call decision of the game. Richard Jackson, who had missed 4 of his last 7 kicks, stays on the sideline. Clemson goes for it on 4th and 2 at the 5, and they don't get it. Virginia turns them over on downs, and a handoff to Rashawn Jackson gets them out to about the 7-yard line. So an early decision for Dabo Swinney, Brian, and a decision that maybe you didn't disagree with in terms of going for it, but how about the play call?
Yeah, I don't think it was bad, especially, it's the last day for these seniors. You want to establish your dominance over a team that comes in that's really struggling. You want to take their will away. I just don't know about putting the ball in your redshirt freshman's hands. I kind of like to either toss it to Spiller or go up the gut with it.
Delayed handoff to Jackson. Breaks a tackle. And he's out to the 11-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. And here are Virginia's impact players.
Yeah, wide receiver Vic Hall. He's played both offense and defense for the Cavaliers. He's their senior leader. He's been the calm in an otherwise stormy season. Defensive end Nate Collins will be chasing Spiller from his defensive end post. He's got 5 sacks on the year and 8.5 tackles for loss. And Razé Dowling, the junior corner, is a big physical player. 3rd year starting for UVA, and he leads the secondary.
To about the 15-yard line goes Jackson on a dive. And on 3rd down and 4, he's got the 1st down. Marcus Gilchrist came up and made the tackle for Clemson. But a good job by Al Groh's offense to just move the chains out to the 15-yard line.
Well, it is. And as we spoke a little bit earlier about the time of possession for Virginia, they've struggled mightily on offense. And for them to get some momentum and some rhythm in this game and some confidence, a couple of 1st downs on the ground are good. Get your quarterback into the game, get him comfortable. He's had some struggles, throwing 7 interceptions this year against 6 touchdowns, and he needs to get his confidence for them to win today.
Keep it on the ground to the near side to Michael Simpson. Maybe a yard. Well, Virginia has been dominated time of possession-wise. A big reason, they're 11th in the ACC, averaging under 94 yards per game rushing the football. Their season average wasn't even so good, but during the 4-game losing streak, not even 23 minutes a game with the football.
Yeah, and you don't have any chance to win ball games if you don't have the ball and the other team is wearing out your defense. You mentioned last in the ACC, they're 114th out of 120 schools in the FBS. So it's been pretty bad.
Jackson picks his way for a couple of more yards. Cavell Connor on the tackle.
The other problem that Virginia's had is they haven't been able to rush the football effectively. And they're 11th in the ACC in rushing the football. And normally, an Al Groh team, you think of good defense and a good running game. From going back to the days of Thomas Jones and Tiki Barber, and a lot of good backs have come out of Virginia. And they've struggled to find a guy that can toe the line for them and they can hang their hat on. But they're hoping that Rashawn Jackson, who's only played the last 3 or 4 weeks, can step up for him.
Draw play on 3rd and 5. Jackson cut down. Brandon May, along with Cavell Connor, there to make the stop. And you see Connor wearing number 17. Normally he'd be wearing number 33, but a very popular player for Clemson, a linebacker who had to give up football because of a continuing battle with epilepsy, was Stanley Hunter. Hunter's still a student coach, but he would normally wear number 17, so in honor of him, every player for Clemson on their defense, or at least select players, taking turns wearing 17 one game at a time. And Brandon May, who was in on that last tackle, was the first to start the tradition. May wore 17 back at the start of the season, and when Stanley Hunter came out and saw May with 17 on the first game, he said it brought him to tears. He had no idea that May was going to do that. It's turned into a wonderful tradition this season anyway for this Clemson defense. Jacoby Ford breaking tackles. Into plus territory goes Jacoby Ford.
Jacoby Ford with the return.
Jacoby Ford and C.J. Spiller, the best all-purpose yard combination in college football.
And he is lightning in a bottle and a threat to go the distance. Got to keep him under wraps.
ESPN's College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Subway Restaurants. Watch this week's Subway Fresh Take video for a refreshing look at sports. Go to ESPN.com, search Fresh Take.
A serene scene just off the campus at Lake Hartwell here at Clemson. Here in Death Valley, second offensive possession for the Tigers. And Jamie Harper goes into the line, maybe picks up a half a yard. So, Brian, here's the second offensive possession in the first half and the first quarter for Clemson, both starting in plus territory.
Yeah, they really want to get off to a fast start, and they come into the game with a lot of momentum, winning their last 5 games. And I think a key to this game is that they keep the foot on the gas pedal and don't allow Virginia any room to breathe. And I think that fourth down attempt was evident of that. And for them to come out and it's not about Virginia for Clemson. It's about continuing to build towards the ACC championship on this momentum.
Parker, well protected, fires one over the middle, and he's got his tight end, Michael Palmer. A first down to the 33-yard line of Virginia.
A lot of time in the pocket for Kyle Parker. When he gets a chance to get his feet set and survey the field, he has been pretty accurate. He's proven this year that he can find the tight end in the middle of the field, read defenses, maintain his calm, and be accurate with the football as he was right there.
Very unique for a redshirt freshman quarterback. Parker on a rollout. Rose on the run. Wide open is Jacoby Ford. Another first down. Down to the 17-yard line. A gain of 16 more.
We talked with Billy Napier, the offensive coordinator at Clemson, yesterday about Kyle Parker and how much he likes to get outside the pocket. Right here, you move the launch point. He's really been accurate on the run, and Jacoby Ford runs a little 7 route, corner route down the field, goes up, makes a nice catch. Kyle Parker likes, he feels comfortable getting outside the pocket. I expect them to throw from inside and outside.
25 games in a row with at least one catch for Jacoby Ford. Here comes the blitz. The Tigers pick it up the seam to the end zone, touchdown. Dwayne Allen, a strike from Parker. And Clemson is on the board. There's the foot on the gas pedal.
Certainly was, and Virginia came with a blitz on the weak side, and tight end was free up the seam, and a good throw by Kyle Parker.
Flag was thrown, I believe, for unsportsmanlike conduct on Clemson after the touchdown was scored.
After the play, have unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, it's Military Appreciation Day today. You can see some of the fatigues that the coaching staff for Clemson are wearing. And Dwayne Allen got up and saluted the crowd. I can't imagine that would have been the penalty.
I hope not.
Kicking extra points has been an adventure for Richard Jackson and Spencer Benton, both kickers for Clemson, but that time Jackson puts it through. And it's a 7-0 lead for the Tigers.
And a good start for Kyle Parker. He's got the momentum. They want to keep it.
Back at Clemson, another look at the touchdown pass from Kyle Parker to Dwayne Allen.
Yeah, great throw, accurate, and Allen goes up and gets the ball. Had to keep the free safety at bay. A great job of using his eyes. Kyle Parker did right there to open up the seam for the touchdown.
Because of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, Chase Minifield receives this kickoff at about the 22-yard line and turns the corner. Minifield stays on his feet. The kicker can't bring him down, and he's into plus territory to the 45-yard line of Clemson.
Number 13, Chase Minifield with the return.
How'd that touchdown happen?
Let's go back and take a look at it. You're going to see a great block by Jamie Harper right here to come across. They're going to bring a blitz on the weak side, and Harper picks up the free safety, McLeod, and then watch Kyle Parker's eyes. He looks left to keep the free safety at bay right there, and then comes back, and a wide open Dwayne Allen for the score.
So after a 34-yard kick return by Chase Minifield, great field position for Virginia. They start this drive in plus territory, and they go with the spread offense. The direct snap to Michael Simpson, the tailback. And out of kind of a modified Wildcat look, he picks up 2 yards.
Mikel Simpson on the keeper. Mel Hunter with the tackle.
You see the starting lineups for the Virginia offense at the top of your screen.
Gain of 2 yards and be
And although it seemed like a ticky-tack foul after the touchdown, it sets up Virginia tremendous field position and an opportunity for this offense to get going downhill a little bit instead of playing in the shadow of their own goal line.
And again, it's Mikel Simpson at quarterback running the Wildcat, splits the linebackers, and has a first down to the 33-yard line of Clemson.
And I like the changeup. I haven't seen this from University of Virginia this season. Changeup for them, and what do you have to lose? If you're the 114th ranked offense in the nation, what do you got to lose? Let's try something different. And putting Simpson in the shotgun in the Wildcat seems to be working a little bit here.
Let's see where Sewell lines up. And yes, he calls the play and then splits out to the near side as a wide receiver. So that's Jameel Sewell at the bottom of your screen, number 10, normally the quarterback. Direct snap to Simpson again. He finds another crease inside the 30, down to about the 29-yard line. And Brian, I remember talking to you earlier this season about just the concept of a Wildcat offense. We see it so much in the NFL. The Dolphins, with now the injured Ronnie Brown, but they run it to perfection. What makes this offense so difficult to defend?
It's a different animal. You take the quarterback out of the equation, and somebody has to go with them. So you take a defender out of the box to go with the quarterback, and now you have everybody in the box capable of blocking or running. There's no wasted player when you have a quarterback. So the numbers are in favor of the offense for the number of blockers and the number of runners against the defense.
Time Simpson with a pump fake. He's got another first down to the 16-yard line.
And this seems to be, Simpson gets the snap and then just waits a second, hesitates, and then finds a hole. They pull the right guard, 65, and Simpson just has good patience, waits for him, gets on his hip, and then finds the hole. But right now, it just seems like this is instinct for Michael Simpson, and if you got a good thing going, you might as well stick with it. Line up in the game.
That's Sewell, the quarterback, the widest man at the top of your screen, out to the right. Simpson again. He's at the 10-yard line. Inside the 5, takes a pop, and he's down at about the 2. It will be 1st and goal, Virginia, and it's been all Mikel Simpson.
And it's the same play, just the opposite direction. And right here, 63, you're going to see Pastor come and pull out and get a good block. And then Simpson just hesitate, get on his hip again. Same play they ran on the last go-round. And Clemson does not have an answer for this Wildcat yet.
Same formation. Simpson at quarterback. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns this season, and now flags down from the end zone.
A dead ball, illegal substitution, 12 men out on the field for Clemson. That's a 5-yard penalty, another half the distance to the goal.
So that will move the football down to the 1.
Yeah, they only had one guy covering 2 receivers over here. So Clemson right now is on their heels and just confused by this offense. You see the value of changing up the schemes and having something new when you come out. Again, they're in the same situation. 2 receivers to the bottom down here, and only one. Now they're getting in position.
And this play is whistled dead before it begins. Now a false start called against Virginia. So 1st and goal at the 1 will turn into 1st and goal at the 6.
False start, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, and I think the receiver at the bottom of the play here got so excited. Vic Hall down. Got a little excited. Number 10, that's Sewell, the quarterback. You think of all the people that may jump off sides, it wouldn't be the quarterback. He has nowhere to go.
He's usually the guy calling the signals, though. It's an unusual position for the quarterback to be in, split out wide.
But where's he going? He's not going to catch a pass.
Well, now they line up in a much more conventional I formation with Simpson the I-back. Play action. Sewell will walk into the end zone with a Cavalier touchdown.
And give credit to University of Virginia, Greg Brandon, the offensive coordinator, and Al Grove for coming in to Death Valley with a plan. And they have not been very successful this season on offense, but that drive there was impressive.
Al Grove comes from the Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick school. And those guys are usually so open with their information. I'm surprised during our conference call that Al Grove didn't tell us he was going to come out with the Wildcat. But he kept us in the dark as well. This is all new. There's the wry smile on the head coach's face.
He's certainly happy. On the last play here, watch the secondary here, all fooled by the play action, strong side. And Sewell will walk into the end zone.
With 10 minutes remaining in the second.
Good job. Good play call by Greg Brandon. Greg Brandon comes from the Urban Meyer School of Offense. They were together at Bowling Green. They've tried some different things on offense. The spread with Sewell. They've tried to run the football more effectively and hasn't been successful. They have to continue to find something that works for them, and maybe they found something they can hang their hat on in the Wildcat. I know this, Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, will be working with that defense on the sidelines to get an extra man in the box to try to stop that attack. And I know he wasn't preparing. We met with him in the meeting room yesterday, and I didn't see him worried about any Wildcat. I didn't see any Wildcat formations drawn up the board. So it was something he was not expecting, but he'll have a plan.
Let's see what Virginia's plan is to stop C.J. Spiller, if they even kick it to him. This will be Jacoby Ford on the 7. Jacoby Ford out to about the 29-yard line for an update. Back to our Times Square studios in New York. Matt Weiner, as long as he stays away from Michigan, Ohio State, we're okay with Brian Greasy here, Matt.
Not even going to touch it. Taco Bell update on Maryland and Florida State. An emotional day in Tallahassee, and the Seminoles trailing late when Greg Reed goes to work. 48 yards on the punt return to set up Lonnie Pryor's 3-yard touchdown run with 32 seconds left. Final home game of the season. Beyond that, for Bobby Bowden, we don't know, but the Seminoles are bowl eligible for the 28th straight season.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. Brian Greasy's delivered to keep a smile on his face. No Ohio State, Michigan mentioned during that update. C.J. Spiller finds a crease. First down. This week on ABC's Saturday Night Football, it's a Pac-10 showdown, a big one between Oregon and Arizona. Each team controls their own destiny in a quest for the Pac-10 title and lead position for a berth in the Rose Bowl. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some parts of the country will see number 3 Texas take on Kansas. Go to ESPN.com and search maps to find the game in your area. Toss. Spiller Gain of only a yard. Matt Conrad made the stop.
Good play by Conrad. They blocked down on the outside and love to get C.J. Spiller the ball on the edge. Toss him the ball. Let him use his speed and athleticism on the edge to make people miss. We were talking with Algro yesterday. He's a defensive coach. He said to stop C.J. Spiller, you have to contain from the outside in. Don't allow him to get on the edge.
Spiller in motion to empty the backfield. And now a false start. Everyone moved but the center. Dalton Freeman just didn't snap the ball.
False start, 61. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
That's 10 guys and the head coach all looking at the center.
It's not a good feeling. He's the youngest guy on that offensive line, just a redshirt freshman. He's 6'5", 280 pounds. He's learning, but not a good situation right there.
Little wide receiver hitch, caught by Ford. Jacoby Ford with a first down.
Jacoby Ford.
And this is how they love to get Jacoby Ford the football with his speed. Get the ball in his hands, allow him to read the blocks, allow him to get upfield. Right there is a good job by the right guard pulling out. You're going to see him come out. Ford's going to come in and then get in the seam there. Good blocks on the edge. It's not easy for big offensive linemen to get out on the edge and get those blocks, but they've got athletic ability here.
Parker off a play action fake. Underthrows Ford, but Ford goes to a knee to make the catch. A low throw, but I guess if you're going to throw it low, you want to throw it to a receiver that's well under 6 feet tall.
I'm going to tell him you said that. He's only 5'10". That's not well under 6 feet.
5'10" is his media guide height. He's got his helmet on when he's 5'10".
And this is the throw that NFL scouts want to see a quarterback throw. They want to see the throw the deep out. Right there, could have put a little bit more mustard on it. Got it high where he can make that catch and make a move. But Kyle Parker seems like he's got plenty of arm.
That takes us to the end of a very entertaining first quarter. It began with C.J. Spiller on senior day. Down the hill for the first time. Both teams trade touchdowns. And we're tied at 7. Sweeney last year at this time was the interim head coach, not even sure if he was going to get the job for this season, gets hired and has his team heading to an ACC title game. He also has their running back in C.J. Spiller who might win the Heisman. Kyle Parker finds Spiller down the sideline, inside the 10-yard line, down to the 4.
C.J. Spiller to the 4-yard
Good patience by Kyle Parker. They tried a hard play action to get the ball down the field to Jacoby Ford on the post route. Here's Ford here. He's going to go down the field, and Spiller's going to come out. Ford wasn't open. Parker, good job not forcing the football and then getting it down. It's nice as a quarterback when you check down to a Heisman hopeful and he runs 35 yards down the field. But you see the speed of C.J. Spiller right there and the myriad of ways that he gets the football out there.
Spiller at the goal line. Touchdown. The 15th touchdown of the season for C.J. Spiller and the 45th of his career. Point after is good. He came into today only needing 140 all-purpose yards to get 7,000 for his career, and he's well on his way.
And it reminds me of a young Warren Dunn out of the backfield. That's what he used to do, and you get him down to the 5-yard line, might as well let your man finish it off.
Run, Lindsey, run. We've had run, CJ run here in the first half at Clemson. Lindsey Scott's catch, helping the Bulldogs to the title. That's number 10 on our countdown. You will see number 9 tonight as Chase Minifield gets it out to about the 17-yard line. Well, C.J. Spiller told us the reason he wears number 28 is because Warrick Dunn is his inspiration.
Nobody question my size. I just try to go out and just prove everyone wrong. I like to show that, I'm a physical player. You might look at my size, but you can't. No one should never question my heart, how I play the game and run inside the tackle. So, I always, take the field, trying to prove that I'm the best guy. I always take that approach every game, that I want to go out and prove that I'm the best guy.
Well, similar to the attitude Warrick Dunn always played with, as to the ground. It's Simpson up the middle for a gain of about 4, but they are very similar, aren't they, Brian, in their playing styles?
And I had the pleasure of playing for a year in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers with Warrick Dunn, and the quintessential pro, and I kind of liken what C.J. Spiller has done to what Warrick has done, and made a living off of catching the ball out of the backfield. He had shifty, he had the speed. Good thing came in small packages, and Warrick Dunn was a competitor. And I see a lot of C.J. Spiller in Warrick Dunn and vice versa.
Sewell on a rollout, being pressured, tucks it under and runs. He's dangerous in the open field. Out to about the 27-yard line. Well, here's what C.J. Spiller told us about Warrick Dunn being his inspiration.
He said he was a small guy. Everyone probably questioned his size, but he never let that affect him. He went out there and he played like he was the biggest guy. And the ultimate thing that I liked about it was off the field, the things that he did for mothers, giving them homes. So that what kind of drew me close to him. And then, of course, that's the reason I wear number 28. So, it's a lot of people that got a lot of role models, and sooner or later they'll let them down. But I don't think Warrick one of those guys. I think he does things the right way. He take care of business. He loves his family, and he played the game the way it's supposed to be played.
And I love the last part of that when he's talking about Warrick off the field, and that's what CJ has done here at Clemson. He had to make the decision last year whether to go to the NFL or to come back and play for his senior year at Clemson, and made the decision that he wanted to finish what he started, and made a commitment here to the Tigers and to this program. And he is by far the leader of this football team from an inspiration standpoint.
Sewell, after picking up the first down, sets up the screen to Jackson. Not much room. Cavell Connor there to help on the stop with Goodman. And let's go back to Matt Weiner.
All right, Bob, let's get a Verizon Wireless update from the SEC. Big game in the West Division in terms of bowl positioning. LSU and Ole Miss. The Tigers get to the kick attempt. Al Woods blocked it. Patrick Peterson ran it home 7-6. The Tigers are in the Ole Miss red zone as we speak. We'll keep you updated.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. So a close one between LSU and Ole Miss, and a close one here between Clemson and Virginia. Trap handoff to Simpson. Up to the 30-yard line for a gain of 3. It sets up 3rd down and 7.
I'm surprised to see that Virginia didn't continue to stick with the Wildcat, at least in a couple plays early in this drive. It was so successful for them on the last drive, but Greg Brandon Algro deciding to go back to the conventional set. Now they find themselves in a 3rd and 7. This crowd's getting into it.
Only one pass thrown so far. That might have to do with the fact that Clemson is #1 in America in sacks, or in the ACC, I should say, and #1 in the country in interceptions. They can rush the passer and get you to turn it over. Sewell throws off his back foot. Simpson is wide open to midfield. And a flag thrown. He was shoved out of bounds by Brandon May, and it might have been a little extra after the play was over.
Could be a huge momentum and field position shift if it is.
Well, this will take Virginia all the way down to the Clemson 35-yard line.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, 20 defense, 15 yards, automatic, 1st down.
A huge play, a blitz from the weak side here. It's interesting, Clemson felt they needed the blitz on 3rd and 7, but a play action, and Simpson comes out of the backfield and wide open. May just had coverage, but was not assigned to him, and That extra push, yeah, that's a good call. That extra push is unnecessary right there, especially from Brandon Knight.
Wide receiver hitch to the far side. Vic Hall throws it back to Sewell. He's got some blockers out in front. Sewell down the sideline inside the 10, and he steps out at about the 5-yard line. Vic Hall has 2 starts at Virginia as a quarterback, so it was basically quarterback throwing to quarterback.
Yeah, here's Vic Hall at the top. You're right, he played quarterback in a couple of games last year. Sewell's just going to come out in a myriad of blockers here out in front. Looked like the cavalry came in and just did get a piece of Sewell to get him out of bounds, but when you have nothing to lose on offense, you might as well try some trickeration.
Something else Al Grote didn't say he was going to do, at least to us. First and goal at the 5. Sewell will flip one to Hall on the end around. He'll throw it to a wide open receiver in the end zone. A touchdown to Joe Torsia, the tight end.
Joe Torsia for the touchdown.
Disbelief. There may be some more things Al Grote didn't tell you he was going to do today. 3 trick plays on that drive, and you just wonder if Al Grote had a library of trick plays this year, it would have been a lot more wins for Virginia.
Cavalier fans must be sitting at home saying, we've watched all season an offense that basically ran 3 yards in a cloud of dust to become the lowest scoring offense and least productive offense of the ACC. Looks like arena football here in the first half for Virginia.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Van Heusen at JCPenney. Voice your choice at jcp.com/fans.
A beautiful day on one of the prettiest campuses you'll find here at Clemson. And one of the great scenes in college football here inside Death Valley, but Virginia has turned this into a trick play fest. They ran the second quarter. Bob Wischusen and Brian Greasy, and a short kickoff coming down to Jacoby Ford. Ford turns the corner. Hurdles his way out of bounds at the 39-yard line. And with a bounce-back win last weekend in Phoenix, Jimmy Johnson looks to drive into the record books by winning his 4th straight NASCAR Sprint Cup championship. The chase concludes with the Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami. Coverage begins tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern on ABC with NASCAR Countdown. C.J. Spiller comes to the sideline. Andre Ellington now in at tailback. Parker just about tackled in the backfield on a broken play. Comes to the sideline and gets bumped out of bounds. Now the Clemson fans want the same extra shove out of bounds flag that they were victimized by on the last drive by Virginia. Cam Johnson rode Parker to the sideline.
Yeah, it's miscommunication up front for Clemson on the offensive line. Darren Childs, number 49, the linebacker, comes through untouched, and right there you need to make a decision. Who do I tackle, the quarterback or the halfback? He chose wrong. He chose the halfback, but good job of Kyle Parker not trying to hand that football off. As a quarterback, sometimes you got to have a sense about you that there's somebody on top of you and just keep the ball in your possession. Good job.
Loss of 3 on the play, though. Little bubble screen to the far side. And getting bumped out of bounds on the Virginia bench is Marquand Jones. So C.J. Spiller on the sideline, but he's been busy so far. We're tracking his touches as he approaches 7,000 all-purpose career yards. This is what he's done so far today, primarily in the run game.
Yeah, primarily rushing the football. You see one reception there, and then the touchdown afterwards, but he's going to get 30 to 35 touches, and maybe 15 to 20 of them will be out of the backfield rushing the football. The rest will be catching the ball and then kick returns and punt returns.
Pitch out to Ellington on 3rd and 3. He's got the first down. Corey Mosley made the stop, but Ellington picked up 8 yards on 3rd and 3.
Dabo Swinney loves Adrian Ellington. He has done a great job this year in spelling C.J. Spiller. Spiller's been dealing with a toe injury most of the year, which is a painful injury, and can't shoulder all of the load, and Ellington has been a good change of pace and a good back for the future for the Clemson Tigers.
Spiller's back in, and it's a little screen pass. About 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, trying to turn nothing into something, and he lost a few. Nate Collins was in the backfield providing some pressure. A nice job by that Virginia defensive front to stay home on C.J. Spiller.
And it was a good job. The screen pass looked like it may have been there, but Al Gross said we want to contain him from outside in, and they're a good job by the defense and Denzel Burrell of keeping him contained and not letting him get to the outside.
Fake for Parker. And here's Spiller again in the open field. Contained at about the 40-yard line. Picks up 7 yards, but it'll still be 3rd down and 5. Steve Greer, who was a redshirt freshman inside linebacker in this 3-4 for Virginia. He made the tackle, and he leads Virginia as a redshirt freshman in tackles this year.
Yeah, and in the 3-4 defense, that's who you want to lead your team in tackles. That means that your nose guard is getting the double team and allowing your linebackers to run free. But that last play, it's interesting. Every time C.J. Spiller gets the ball, everybody in the stands stands up, no matter whether it's a run, a pass, whatever. Just electric.
3rd down and 5. Into traffic, and that's a 1st down catch. Michael Palmer, the tight end.
Critical 3rd down conversion for Clemson. And Kyle Parker, this is the maturation for Kyle Parker. His job is not only to execute the offense, but to convert 3rd downs. There's Palmer right there, and throws a little bit late, but it's accurate. And all he has to do is catch it and fall down for the 1st down. And 3rd down conversions, second to turnover, is the most important stat in football for offense.
Up the middle goes Jamie Harper. Great balance so far offensively for Clemson. And Kyle Parker off to a great start. He's 10 for 10 for nearly 130 yards and a touchdown. Such a treat spending time with Dabo Swinney yesterday as well. He is a character. He's the kind of guy that you can see being a parent. He's in your living room. Where am I going to send my 17-year-old to go play college football? You could send him to go play for Dabo Swinney.
Very positive, a lot of energy. He's going to be honest. He's got a lot of youth. He's only had his 40th birthday on Friday, and the glass is 95% full for him 100% of the time.
Another 1st down run as Jamie Harper totes the mail. We talked to Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, and I said, describe Dabo Swinney. He said he's a rolling ball of butcher knives.
A lot of energy, but the players can relate to him. His story growing up with a lot of turmoil in his family, he had to make it on his own. His family had no money. He had some opportunities, made the most of his opportunities. Now he's the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, and when players come here from nothing, they can relate to Dabo Swinney.
Pitch, and there goes Jacoby Ford turning the corner. Ford down to the 10-yard line inside the 5. The ball pops out late, but he's ruled down by contact at the 3-yard line.
Well, not to be outdone, the Clemson Tigers say, if you're going to use some trick plays, reverses on us, we're going to do it to you. And we've got the fastest guy in the business to do it in Jacoby Ford. And good position by Burrow, but just does not have the speed to keep up with the NCAA 60-meter champ, Jacoby Ford.
Must be nice if you're Billy Napier to call plays for this kind of an offense with these kind of weapons. Dabo Swinney, only 40 years old. The offensive coordinator for Clemson, only 30 years old. 1st and goal at the 3. 10th play of the drive. Play action. Parker under pressure and unloads it and throws it away. And then a flag comes down.
Well, it's clearly not intentional grounding. He was outside of the pocket and the ball got to the line of scrimmage, but
There's no foul on the play. The pass was out of the pocket, and the ball crossed out of scrimmage.
So the flag picked up. And I'm not sure if the microphone for Ron Cherry, the referee, was working well enough, because while he was saying we're picking up the flag, the crowd here at Death Valley kept booing it. So they may need to work on the acoustics a bit. I think some of the fans here are still upset. They still think that there was some type of penalty called, but it's second down and goal. This time, C.J. Spiller. No gain. Zane Parr, the first man there, along with Nate Collins.
good penetration on that play by the Virginia defense. The 3-4 is predicated on confusion and getting into the backfield, and right there, whether you have a helmet or not, making the tackle there contains Spiller.
12th play of the drive after a loss on second down, 3rd and goal at the 4. Spiller again empties the backfield. Parker, a strike to the back of the end zone. Did Xavier Dye get a foot down? No, he didn't. Xavier Dye is a 6'4" wideout. And that pass was just thrown high enough to carry him out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Dye was open in the back of the end zone, and just a little bit high on the throw carries him momentum out of the end zone right there. As you see the foot come down, clearly out of bounds. Good catch, but inaccurate throw from Kyle Parker there. An accurate throw would have been 7 points.
Jackson has struggled of late, but this only a 21-yard field goal attempt. And he knocks it through. So Virginia's defense bends, but Al Grove's group doesn't break. Clemson settles for 3 to take the lead back. A 3-point lead for Clemson. C.J. Spiller does have a touchdown. He will most certainly be a first-round draft choice in the NFL. So here's our Aflac trivia question. When was the last time a Clemson running back was selected in the first round of the NFL draft?
Oh, it's a good one.
Well, C.J. Spiller was thinking of going pro last year, and the consensus was he would probably be a late first, early second-round pick. He is most definitely going to be a first-round pick this year as Virginia muffs the kickoff. Inside the 10-yard line, finally Minifield picks it up, and he goes down at about the 6.
At some point, you want to, if you're Frank Minifield, just fall on the football. But as a kick returner, you always want to make a play. Right here, trying to get up again and going in the wrong direction. And Minifield has been very successful this year, returning kicks and returning punts for the Cavaliers. But
so now terrible field position for Virginia inside their own 10-yard line. Simpson lost a couple of yards.
And the error by Minifield really hems up this UVA offense. They had scored 7 points on the Wildcat, then they come back and score with some trick plays and really staying one step ahead of the Clemson defense, and now really limits what they can do offensively, being on their own 5-yard line, 2nd and 13. So I know that Al Grove and the offense wanted to get back into another rhythm. Interested to see what they were going to come out with, but they're limited in field position.
They stayed conservative with Simpson. A little fake by Sewell, and Clemson's front 7 didn't buy it at all. Brandon Thompson combines with Brandon May to help make the stop. It'll be 3rd down and long.
And now if you're Greg Brandon and the offensive coordinator for Virginia, you got to be really careful because, you played well in the first half of this game. You're only down 3 points on the road, and you're 3rd and 11 with an offense that has not had a lot of confidence this season, so you want to be smart with this play call.
Well, Clemson's number 1 in America, forcing 3 and outs defensively. But a good job so far by the UVA offense. They have not gone 3 and out at all here in the first half. Under 3 minutes to go. 3rd and 11. They roll the pocket. Sewell throws on the run, and he's got a man for a 1st down. It's Vic Hall making the catch at the 21-yard line.
Tremendous throw by Jamil Sewell and a nice route by Vic Hall for them to come out. Sewell throwing out of his own end zone, going in the opposite direction as a left-hander, going to his right. It's difficult for him to throw the ball down the field, but he gets his hip square and throws a dart to Hall in traffic. That's an impressive throw from a confident quarterback.
Algro told us that there's no player on this Virginia team that garners more respect from his teammates than Vic Hall.
Back in the Wildcat.
Simpson takes the direct snap, fakes as if he'll throw, and gets up the sideline. Lost the football, fumbled. It's picked up by Chris Chancellor. Will they rule him down by contact? No, it's a fumble and a recovery by the Tigers.
Looked like Brandon May, the middle linebacker, the redshirt sophomore, came over and got the hit, but you see with field position, Virginia gets back in the Wildcat, and the helmet right on the football by Brandon May, and Chancellor's there for the recovery. 2 critical turnovers now for the Cavalier, giving Clemson good field position.
Chris Chancellor recovered that fumble for the Tigers, and he's playing with a heavy heart for the rest of this season. He was great friends with UConn's Jasper Howard. Howard, of course, was murdered at a party earlier this year. They were high school teammates in Miami, and he was at the funeral earlier in Miami. That was the same weekend that Clemson played at UM. Great play action fake by Parker. Under some pressure, and he grounds the football at the feet of C.J. Spiller. And he gets up hobbling a bit. When Kyle Parker gets up hobbling, not only does Dabo Swinney start to gasp a bit, but the baseball coach at Clemson gasps a bit as well.
Yeah. Good job there defensively for Virginia. They had a hard play action with a chance down the field to Ford again. They keep trying to get that ball down the field to Ford, but a good defensive job there on that play by this UVA defense. And another opportunity for them after a turnover to try to limit Clemson to a field goal.
Parker, that screen attempt batted down. Nate Collins, such an athletic player, 290 pounds at defensive end.
Yeah, and Kyle Parker, he came up limping after the last play and didn't seem to move real well right here. Right here, you got to move your feet to get a lane to get that ball to the tight end on the screen, but didn't move his feet at all and made it an easy play for Nate Collins. It'll be interesting to see on this play if Kyle Parker has tweaked an ankle. Got to use your feet as a quarterback when you're trying to throw that screen to get an alley around the defensive end.
4-man rush for Virginia on 3rd and 10. Parker tucks it under, throws it on the run to Ford in the end zone for the touchdown. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? He was very close. And the Virginia coaches on the sideline immediately started to point to the line of scrimmage and say he may have crossed it.
Well, it looked very close. Good job by Parker extending the play, moving forward in the pocket. The line was right there on the 30. He was very close to being over that line.
I think he was good. I think he had it by about a yard. He was still behind the line of scrimmage. It's a 24-yard touchdown pass to Jacoby Ford, his 5th touchdown catch of the year. And the turnover really does damage to Virginia as Clemson turns it into 7, and they stretch the lead to 10.
Whether he's hurt or not, still at mobile in the pocket. Good throw to Ford.
ESPN ESPN College Football on ABC. A 10-point lead now for number 23 Clemson. Jacoby Ford catches his 5th touchdown of the season, first today, so he has a touchdown. C.J. Spiller has a touchdown. And taking a knee is Minifield. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown in a moment after we answer our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last Clemson running back to be selected in the first round of the NFL draft, where we expect C.J. Spiller to be picked this season?
Well, you know, Michael Dean Perry played for Clemson. He carried the football in the pros. If he carried it all in Clemson, does he qualify as a running back? I know he was in the first.
Couldn't be more wrong. No, that's as big a stretch as we've ever heard. Wow. Terrence Flagler, 1987. Hard to believe it's been that long since Clemson, with all the great skill position players they've had in the first-round draft choice of running back. Deshaun Jackson's been quiet here in the first half, but he is very close to a first down here for Virginia out to the 30-yard line. In what has been an action-packed first half.
Brought down by Cabell Cutter.
And I've been impressed by Virginia coming out in a hostile environment on the road offensively. They've scored, as we mentioned, the 7 points on that drive with the Wildcat, and they come back with some trick plays. And you wonder if they've just been one step ahead of the Clemson defense, and save for 2 turnovers, costly fumbles by this UVA offense, they'd be right in this football game.
On a keeper, Sewell goes down. A 4-yard loss. Well, the nose guard for Clemson looked like he may have gotten a bit of a head start. And now Clemson will spend a timeout with 1:05 to go here in the first half, and Sewell comes up limping.
Yeah, Ricky Sapp.
Each Saturday, Tiger fans are invited to
Let's take a look now at our Pacific Life game summary. We talked about all those trick plays that Virginia had run to get on the board. Well, you need to do that to answer how good this Clemson offense can be.
Yeah, and clearly they've scored 42 points on average in their last 5 games. Here they've got 24 in the first half, so they're on their way. And a lot of it has been C.J. Spiller and Jacoby Ford, and now Kyle Parker coming to the party, making plays with his feet, making plays with his arm, and leading this team. If they can continue this momentum on offense and get an answer for this UVA offense on defense, then I think they can run away with this football game.
Drew Jarrett is one of the place kickers for Virginia. Maybe he'll get a chance before halftime, but only if Virginia can convert on 3rd down and 3. They are 3 for 4 on 3rd down here in the first half so far. And converting on the 3rd down is Simpson.
Number 5, Mikael Simpson with the carry. It's a first down.
Now Virginia has all of their timeouts. If they get set quickly, as the ball is put ready for play, maybe they can get something going before halftime. But this is conservative clock management by Al Groh.
Not sure. The ball on their own 30-yard line, 3 timeouts in a minute. You would be up on the ball and get ready for the snap. They seem very content to run the clock out here.
Long cadence as well. Simpson turns the corner. Down the sideline goes Simpson, out of bounds to stop the clock at the 48-yard line. How about that? Virginia almost seemingly trying to put the ball in the freezer in their running game, forces them probably to try and shoot for some points before halftime.
Yeah, it's it's kind of, look what I found now. Now you're in a situation, you still got 3 timeouts and the ball in Clemson territory, and you want to at least get a field goal, potentially push the ball down the field and take a couple shots at the end zone. But it's funny how coaches will have a conservative approach to one situation, and then bam, something happens. They get a 25-yard gain when they were just expecting to run the clock out, and now the entire situation has changed.
114 rushing yards for Virginia already in the first half. They average under 100 per game. Sewell to throw. Over the middle. Dropped ball. Into the hands of Chris Bird. Preston Butler there on the coverage, but a drop by Bird.
Well, Bird was open. Sewell does a nice job of holding on to the ball until he gets past the linebackers, and that was a good throw, accurate. And Chris Bird has made a bunch of plays this year for Jamil Sewell. Needed to come down with that one right there.
Still plenty of time with your timeouts to get into field goal range. To the sideline, out of bounds. This time Bird makes the catch and picks up nearly 10 yards. Again in front of Butler. So now you're probably only about another 10 or 12 yards away from what for most college kickers would be very realistic field goal range.
And this will be good for Jamil Sewell. He hasn't had an opportunity to throw the ball in this first half much. Now he's in a situation where he has to throw the football, and for him to get into a rhythm with this football game.
That's a first down run by Simpson, and it stops the clock at the 36-yard line with 14 seconds to go in the first half. And television's hottest new hit is ABC's V. The visitors will reveal a shocking plan in the final episode of 2009. Don't miss a second of the series that's being called riveting, action-packed, and instantly addictive. ABC's V on ABC, Tuesdays, 8, 7 Central. Bird, another catch. Out of bounds at the 24-yard line with 8 seconds to go in the first half. Again, you've got all of your timeouts.
Right there.
Yeah, a good job by Bird up here. It's just a little return route, and Chancellor takes a guess. Gets the first down and gets out of bounds now with 8 seconds on the clock.
And because Virginia has their timeouts, they'll choose to call one here to talk about the next play with 8 seconds to go in the first half. We'll step aside for just a moment.
Once again, the Tigers would like to thank you for recycling.
Sunday in the comeback story of the year, Whitney Houston performs live with 5 nominations. Will Michael Jackson be the night's biggest winner? Plus performances by the Black Eyed Peas, Carrie Underwood, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and many more. The American Music Awards comes up live tonight at 8, 7 Central on ABC. Seconds to go in the first half. Sewell down the sideline towards the end zone, caught for a touchdown. The running back Simpson, a little wheel route down the sideline, and on the last play of the first half, Virginia strikes for 6.
Wow, what a play call by University of Virginia. Here's the running backs. They come out of the backfield and up the sideline and just beat him with speed. And Sewell throws the ball out there, allows him to run underneath it. A risky call because with 8 seconds, that play took all of 8 seconds. So if it wasn't complete for the touchdown, they would have got no points, no opportunity to kick the field goal. So throwing the caution to the wind, and now they're going to replay it to see if he was in bounds.
They are reviewing it, but this looks like a no doubt about it touchdown. He's in bounds by a couple of feet.
Great throw and a great catch.
How about that for Virginia? A drive that at least philosophically began with them trying to run out the clock and go to the locker room at halftime, just not turning it over in their own end. Ends up with a touchdown at the other end.
Well, you know, you got to have some luck on your side to win.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
And I think that Al Groh, with the way that this season has gone, will take anything he can get And if he'd intend to run the clock out and gets a first down, gets a 25-yard run, and puts his team in position to take a shot, and then has the wherewithal to take that shot, that risk, knowing that they wouldn't have got the field goal opportunity, you got to give him credit.
How about the Cavaliers showing a lot of fight for their head coach, Al Groh? 3 touchdowns in the first half. A touchdown on the final play of the first half pulls the Cavaliers within 3 at halftime. 24-21, Clemson with the lead. At the break, when we come back, we'll go to the studios for scores and highlights. The sun sets over Death Valley. At halftime, Clemson in a much more competitive game than maybe expected against Virginia. Bob Wischusen and Brian Greasy set for the start of the second half. And Brian, 4-game losing streak that Virginia is in the midst of. They scored no more than 17 points in any of those losses. They scored 21 on the road against a good Clemson defense in the first half.
Well, 230 yards of offense. Clemson comes in ranked second in the ACC in defense. The surprise has been the Wildcat and the trick plays that University of Virginia has used. It's 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, obviously elements that I'm sure the coaching staff of Virginia never expected to see. And Jacoby Ford with the second half kickoff return out to about the 22-yard line. So what does Clemson need to do to get control of this game back?
Well, they have to start playing defense, and they have to contain the Wildcat and be ready for the looks that Virginia offense is giving them. Michael Simpson taking the ball in the quarterback position, and here the naked reverses have been successful for Virginia, and then the trick plays. Double pass, back to Sewell from Vic Hall. Big play in the first half. These things are opening up for this Virginia offense that has struggled all season. Might as well take some shots. And then at the end of the half, the big one is the touchdown. Finally, Sewell gets to throw a touchdown pass and got them right back in this football game, only down 3.
Start the second half with C.J. Spiller up the middle for maybe a yard. And last year, Virginia's defense did an excellent job against Spiller. He only had 70 yards of total offense in the first half, so he's halfway to the 140 yards. That would put him over 7,000 all-purpose yards for his career. But last year, Clemson won 13-3, but Virginia held Spiller to only 18 yards rushing, 1.3 yards per carry. So Al Groh has devised schemes against C.J. Spiller to keep him under control. A bootleg for Parker, and he's down the sideline. Great fake to Spiller. And on the keeper, the quarterback Kyle Parker picks up a first down.
Well, the true read option from the spread set right there, and Kyle Parker is going to put it in Spiller's belly, then pull it out. Great fake by Spiller. And this is what Kyle Parker brings to this offense. Not only is he able to throw the ball accurately and down the field, and you see a passionate player, but he's also got some wheels and able to run the spread offense to a T.
Check down the flat to Spiller, bobbles the ball, but steps out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. As we take a look at our Pacific Life first half statistics. And that time Spiller, you saw the ill effects of that toe as he danced out of bounds gingerly, but very even in the first half.
Yeah, very even. And 5 out of 6 on third downs for the Cavaliers right there. That's a huge stat, a telling sign that this Virginia offense is clicking in the first half. And Kevin Steele and the defensive coordinator for Clemson has got to improve on third downs in the second half. They want to win.
First down for C.J. Spiller to the 44-yard line of Virginia.
Brought down by Corey Mosley.
You're right. It was interesting. After that last play, he looked like he came up, Spiller, a little bit gimpy, kind of walked out of bounds there. And he looks to be limping a little bit more. That toe, if you've ever had a turf toe, it's one of the most painful injuries you can have in football. And for a guy with the shiftiness of C.J. Spiller, it is a key to his game.
Nice play action fake by Parker. Looking for the home run for Ford. Incomplete. Excellent coverage by Rasai Dowling.
As intended for Jacoby Ford.
Let's take another look at that little flare pass to Spiller and watch him go out of bounds here.
Yeah, you see him as he gets towards the sideline. Had trouble catching the ball, and then the plant right there on that left foot. Looked like he came up a little bit gingerly there, and we'll keep an eye on that as we go forward. But I know that Dabo Swinney does not want to take any chances with his star running back. He spelled him at times this year with Ellington and Harper. He has plenty of depth at the running back position.
A couple of yards for C.J. Spiller, brought down by Darren Childs. He's had such an amazing career here. He was a young man that was originally expected to go to Florida. That was where everyone thought C.J. Spiller was going to go. He's from Lake Butler, Florida, so that was kind of in his backyard. And even after a tough freshman year, he was going to transfer to Florida. He wanted to be closer to his girlfriend. He has a daughter as well, so he wanted to be closer to home. But he decided to stay at Clemson. After talking to Tommy Bowden about it, and what a great decision it's turned out to be. He'll go down as a legendary Ring of Honor player for the Tigers. A miss on third down.
And Spiller was open there, but was not looking for the football. Miscommunication between Parker and Spiller, but if Spiller would have been looking for that ball, he had room to run. Critical miss on third down for the Tigers.
And their first punt. Ball calls for a fair catch and fields at the 19-yard line. That's a pretty good result for Virginia. At their own 19-yard line, a punt that, if you're the punting team there, you're expecting it to be inside the 15, if not the 10-yard line. So Al Groh's defense does the job again, down by only a field goal.
Big stop for the Cavalier defense on the last drive. You're going to see a grand twist come back in. Here's C.J. Spiller. He's going to run underneath, and if Kyle Parker had time to get the football to him, he had a play coming out the other end.
Rashard Jackson for about 6 yards, but let's take a look at the missed opportunity.
Yeah, you're going to see right here, he's going to come on a grand twist. Here's Spiller on the underneath route, and Kyle Parker needed to hold the ball a little bit longer until Spiller could pick him up right there. Just a miscommunication. As a quarterback, when you got somebody coming free in your face, you can't panic. You got to hold the ball as long as you can until your receiver can see you. And if he could have got the ball to Spiller there, he may have come out the other end for a big play.
Second down and a short 5. Jackson, a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Check that Perry Jones. It'll be third down. Early in the third quarter, Bob Wischusen and Brian Griese here at Death Valley. Clemson trying to close out the season with an undisputed Atlantic Division title in the ACC.
What an opportunity for the Virginia Cavaliers here. Their defense comes out after halftime, gets the stop they needed, gives the ball to their offense, who's played well in the first half. Now they have a chance to potentially go down and take the lead in this football game. They're 5 out of 6 on third downs. We'll see what they do here.
Short of the first down. Dontrell Inman on third down and 3 ran about a 1 yard out. And he's at least 2 yards shy. So there's your third 3 and out for the number 1 3 and out defense in the country. The 59th time they've forced an offense 3 downs and out.
And that play right there looked like the UVA offense that's ranked 114th in the country. I mean, you have third and 5 and you throw a 1 yard route on the sidelines. Even if he catches it, it's not a first down. So when they get into third and 5 or more, it's much more difficult for Virginia to convert because they have to throw the football. They don't have the option of running.
The greatest all-purpose yard combination in college football history, both back deep to receive. Let's see who it'll be. They both call for a fair catch, and Ford bobbles it with C.J. Spiller right behind him. But he holds on. Pretty good field position for Clemson at their own 35-yard line. When we come back, Virginia hanging in with the Tigers.
ESPN's College Football Brought to you by the all-new Kia Forte, the first of its kind.
That's a look at the office of Dabo Swinney, the head coach here at Clemson. I think he turned 40 yesterday. The youngest head coach in the ACC. And a great story about how he got the job last season, which we'll get to after this play. 1st and 10 for his offense. At their own 34-yard line. Play action for Kyle Parker. Well protected. Shoots one over the middle. Ford makes the catch. Such a big play offense, you can't even tell a story. They make chunk yardage plays over and over again, and a big one there for Jacoby Ford.
And Razai Dowling took a chance on that hard play action, and over the top, Kyle Parker throws the ball accurate. Dowling, the corner, number 19, come into your picture, went for the tackle, the interception there, and Ford snatched it away from him and got downfield for a big play.
Parker on a keeper, picks up about 5 yards. But Dabo Swinney, when he was hired as the head coach at 40 years of age, he's the interim head coach last season and told us it was really surreal because Tommy Bowden is told by the athletic director midway through the year, we're not going to bring you back at the end of the year. He opts to step down right there. So all the assistants are in on a Monday looking at film. The athletic director comes in and says, guys, this is the situation. As Ellington is stopped at the line, we're going to let Coach go. And Dabo, I need to see you up in my office in about 10 minutes because you're the new head coach. Thanks very much. So he's stunned. He comes up to the office, and he's expecting that this is just an interim tag for the rest of the year, and he's gone too. And he is sat down and told, you have a chance to keep this job. We really think, watching you over the last 5.5 years, but specifically as the assistant head coach, that you're prepared and you're ready to do this. Let's see what happens the rest of this season, and you have a very good chance to keep this job. Third and 3 to the sideline. A catch made by Dye, and it's good for a first down. The moniker, though, for this team has become all in. And that's because Dabo Swinney, after getting the job, holds the first team meeting of all of his players and says, guys, I was just told I'm your head coach for the rest of the season, and I have a good chance to keep this job. I may not have a great shot, but I've got a shot. So I'm all in if you're all in with me. And the players supported him, and that's been the rallying cry for this team ever since. There are all-in bumper stickers on the back of cars everywhere on the parking lot here at Clemson.
And he had a practice that night at 6 p.m. where he said, if you're going to be on this team, show up to practice, but you got to bring everything you have and be all in for Clemson or don't show up. And they did. And Xavier Dye showed up and ran an out route here. Looks like he dragged his left foot there, left toe, for a third down conversion. Good accurate throw here by Kyle Parker again.
Looks like he's got the left foot certainly on the ground and drags the toe, so we expect that this call will be confirmed. It was called a catch and a first down. But Dabo Swinney then said, when he was asked when he was going to be named officially the head coach by the athletic director and the school president, what do you think your salary should be? And he said, I don't care. Pay me $200,000. The same thing I was making as the wide receivers coach and offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. They said, Dabo, we can't pay you $200,000 to be the head coach of our team. How about $800,000? He said, fine, I really don't care what you pay me. Make it $800,000. But he also said he's been very difficult to deal with because now when he wants to create a new position, they wanted a player development position to create it in kind of the front office here. And they said, well, budgetarily, I don't know if we can hire someone. He says, all right, how about this? I'll pay the guy $100,000 and I'll create the position. They said, no, coach, you can't do that. And it just goes to show he didn't care how much he got paid. He feels as if the extra money that he got as a head coach gives him the leeway to make hires if he wants to make hires. And so he said, he's kind of been a nightmare for the administration here.
After further review, the rooted on the field stands. You have a completed catch and a first down.
But Brian, at $800,000, he has to be one of, if not the lowest paid head coaches in any BCS conference.
Well, I think he certainly is, and he has taken the leadership role right from the very start. And everybody in this Clemson organization, from the players, the coaches, the administrative staff, everybody associated with it has utmost respect for Dabo Swinney. He's made everybody accountable for doing their job, and it's showing on the football field.
After the first down is confirmed, Ellington up the middle. Drives his way down to about the 5-yard line. It's first and goal.
Impressive drive here from the Tigers, using the arm of Kyle Parker in certain situations, and then right up the gut with Andre Ellington, who is the more physical of the backs in the Clemson backfield. 195 pounds, but he gets below his pads and loves to run inside the tackles. And young player, only a redshirt freshman. He's going to be, you're going to hear his name a lot in the coming years here at Clemson.
We'll hear his name right here on first and goal at the 5. At the goal line. Is he in? Yes. Touchdown, Tigers.
Good push up front from the big offensive line. Chris Hairston, Thomas Dawson, the left guard and the left tackle. Plenty of push up front for Andre Ellington, and you see right there, he gets his pads down and gets into the end zone. Impressive drive from the Tigers.
The lead's back up to 10 midway through the third quarter. Clemson trying to win their 6th game in a row on top here in Death Valley. Bob Wischusen and Brian Greasy back in Death Valley. A 10-point lead now for number 23 Clemson. Already having locked up their first ever Atlantic Division title in the ACC, with Boston College losing earlier today to North Carolina. But obviously Clemson would like to win the title outright. Minifield drops another kickoff at the 5-yard line. Barely gets out across the 15. As once again we check in with Matt Weiner.
All right, Bob, time for an AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Number 4 TCU remains unbeaten after a road win at Wyoming. True freshman running back Matthew Tucker played a big part, 134 yards on the ground and a pair of touchdowns. To cast your vote, text vote 345-345 from your mobile phone.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. TCU, of course, beat both Virginia and Clemson on the road this season, part of their out-of-conference wins, and a huge difference in terms of starting field position. And again, Virginia at their own 16-yard line. They run the Wildcat this time with Vic Hall. And Hall picks up about 3 yards this week on ABC Saturday Night Football. A Pac-10 showdown. Oregon takes on Arizona. Both teams control their own destiny in the quest for the Pac-10 title and potentially a spot in the Rose Bowl. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some parts of the country will also see number 3 Texas take on Kansas. Go to ESPN.com and search maps to find the game in your area.
You see that difference in the starting field position. 20-yard line for Virginia, 47 for Clemson. That's the Spiller effect influence in this game.
Vic Hall again on a keeper, and he picks up 2 yards. And was he walloped by DeAndre McDaniel? Now McDaniel can hit. He was a Sam linebacker last season. Most of the year, Clemson kind of played a nickel defense and playing him down near the line of scrimmage. This year, he not only leads the team in tackles, but he's got 8 interceptions, second in the nation, as they moved him back to safety.
And that's his natural position, and he's a playmaker coming from that secondary up, making hits towards the line of scrimmage, but also just a ball hawk, and he leads this secondary, which is number 1 in the nation with 21 interceptions, and this crowd is now officially into this ball game, and they can sense another 3 and out for the Clemson defense.
It's Jameel Sewell back in to take the snap on 3rd down and 5. Pumps once, tucks it under, going nowhere. Kevin Alexander brought him down.
And Cavell Connor, the linebacker, number 17, right here. He's going to look up the wide receiver, Vic Hall, and absolutely clock him right there. That's where Jamil Sewell wanted to go with the football. It's legal to hit him within the 5-yard rule there, and nowhere for Sewell to throw that football.
After no 3 and outs in the first half for Virginia's offense, they've got 3 and out in their last couple of possessions. Under 5 minutes to go now in the third quarter. Returnable for Spiller. There he goes. Plus territory and a broken tackle. Drives his way to the 40-yard line of Virginia.
It looked like the toe was okay right there, getting to the edge. Look at the acceleration right here to get to the edge by Spiller. The toe comes into effect when he wants to change direction right there. Looks like he's doing okay, but I think it's definitely affecting him. But C.J. Spiller at 80% is much better than most people at 100%. Clemson with an opportunity to keep their foot on the gas pedal here.
Spiller. About 4 more yards, and television's hottest new hit is ABC's V. The visitors will reveal a shocking plan in the final episode of 2009. Don't miss a second of the series that's being called riveting, action-packed, and instantly addictive. ABC's V on ABC, Tuesdays at 8, 7 Central.
I think that the Dabo Swinney and his Clemson offense has got the adjustments down to the 3-4 defense of Virginia. The last drive running the ball successfully on 5 plays. How are we going to throw it?
To the fullback, Rendrick Taylor. And he bullies his way down to about the 23-yard line. Rossai Dowling taken for a ride by the 265-pound fullback.
Spiller came in motion as a decoy. A lot of times they'll use him to affect coverage and get Taylor, number 5, the ball in the flat, and at 265 pounds. Rossai Dowling, you may want to go low next time on that big fella right there, because that one looked like it hurt.
Looks like a fun job trying to tackle Rendrick Taylor. Spiller, a little bounce to his left at the line, but he couldn't get past Rodney McLeod.
Virginia now has been on the field in this second half for most of the quarter. 3 and outs for Virginia offensively have put Virginia's defense in a bind with field position and with number of plays, and this is what the recipe that has gotten them in trouble this season. They've gotten away from what they did in the first half, protecting their defense.
Tight end screen, Palmer inside the 15-yard line. Close to a first down. It'll be 3rd down and short. As we said, C.J. Spiller came into today only 140 all-purpose yards shy of becoming the 5th player in college football history to get to 7,000 for his career. He's up to 108 with that last 17-yard punt return. He's got 18 total touches.
And that's the thing. It's the average yards per touch. He doesn't get that many touches. He only had 18 this game and 108 yards. Averaging 200 yards every single time he steps on the football field.
3rd down handoff to Jamie Harper. Inside the 10-yard line, it'll be 1st and goal. Clemson's one of those teams you start to think about what could have been as they close the season potentially with 6 straight wins. They've got a game, obviously, at South Carolina next week. It could be 7 in a row. Spiller shut down at the line. But, Brian, their losses to Georgia Tech, TCU, and Maryland back at the start of the season were all so close.
Yeah, and Dabo Swinney was telling us yesterday that the loss to TCU by 4 points, Kyle Parker had a wide open Michael Palmer in the end zone to win that game and just threw the ball over his head. The game against Georgia Tech, there was a lot been said about that game. Controversial fake field goal, potentially illegal formation and play, a holding call late in the game. Kyle Parker throws the ball down to the 18-yard line of Georgia Tech. They're going to win that game, but the holding call brings them back. So this team very easily could be undefeated. 3 of their losses by a combined 10 points.
Second and goal. Spiller down to about the 6-yard line, where it will be third down and goal.
I really believe that those 3 losses early in the season to go 2 and 3 really helped this football team, though, because it took the pressure off of them. Now it's the last 5 weeks they've won. They still have everything they ever wanted in front of them to win the ACC championship in Tampa, potentially get to a BCS bowl. That's more than they could have hoped for at the start of the season with a rookie head coach.
Parker, well protected. Back in the end zone for Ford, incomplete. 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. And this is a big stop for Virginia. A field goal makes it only a 14-point game.
Yeah, way too much time in the pocket for Kyle Parker, and you'll see Jacoby Ford coming right to left on your screen. And it looked like Tucker Wendell, number 39, a true freshman, just gets a finger on the ball right there. A tremendous play by the true freshman, Tucker Wendell, right there to save the touchdown.
25-yard field goal attempt to try and stretch the Clemson lead to 13 for Jackson. And he's got it. Kicking game has been perfect today for Clemson, and that's been rarely said over the past few weeks, but Virginia's defense holds in there, and it's still only a 2-touchdown lead with 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. Next week, you and I are going to see Clemson take on South Carolina for the state championship, but in a couple of weeks, we'll see the rematch between Georgia Tech and Clemson in the ACC championship game. And Brian, here's some of those big plays you were talking about.
Yeah, big plays, a return on a pooch punt early in the game. Both these happened early in the game, and here's the controversial play where they get down and score the touchdown on the fake field goal, and then the kick to win it 30-27. A big win for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and in talking with everyone here at Clemson the past couple of days, they cannot wait for a rematch in Tampa Bay.
And that embrace at the end of that game could very well end up being between the ACC Coach of the Year and the runner-up, because both of those coaches have to be, and Paul Johnson probably going to get the win running away, but you have to think Dabo Swinney is going to be at least in the conversation with the way that this Clemson team has rebounded from those 3 losses.
And what a job he's done resurrecting the season. At 2 and 3, there were a lot of rumors, and he's on a short leash. Dabo Swinney, nothing was guaranteed to him, and for him to bring this team back and win 5 in a row and get this opportunity to go to Tampa Bay really has turned this whole program around.
Mosley out to the 36-yard line. A good return by Corey Mosley. Well, Virginia has had problems at times holding on to the football this afternoon.
Yeah, first play of the game, the fumble basically gives them points, and a botch kickoff. Minifield has dropped 3 kickoffs today. Simpson fumbles, gave him a touchdown, and just had a hard time holding on to the ball tonight, and results in bad field position. Minifield had struggled tonight, putting his team in bad field position, but an opportunity here for Virginia at the 35-yard line. It's their best start of the night.
Perry Jones on the last play of the third quarter for about 4 yards. And that will take us to the fourth quarter with Clemson holding on to a 2-touchdown lead. Here in Death Valley, the Tigers looking for their 6th win in a row. quarter. Virginia on the offense after a terrible third quarter offensively, trying to get something going. Sewell off a play-action fake. He'll be sacked at his own 27-yard line. Jamie Cumby brought him down.
Great effort by Jamie Cumby, the defensive tackle. Right here, he's going to just beat his man, and Sewell had an opportunity downfield, but a good move by Cumby and nowhere to go for Sewell, and not the way that the Cavs wanted to start this fourth quarter. It's getting to now or never time, down 13 points on the road. This offense needs to do something. Only 15 yards in the third quarter, as you saw. They need to get back to what was working for them in the first half. A little misdirection and some of the wildcat. They can still run the football. Plenty of time for them to run and pass, but they need to get going.
Now they have to call a timeout to avoid a delay of game. The flag comes down, though. Are they going to award the timeout or call delay of game?
Timeout. Timeout on the field. Virginia.
So they pick up the flag as Virginia narrowly avoids a delay of game penalty. 14:06 to go in the fourth quarter. Military Appreciation Day today here at Clemson. Some of the halftime ceremonies that took place. Veterans of all of the wars dating back to World War II honored at halftime here at Clemson. After the timeout by Virginia, 3rd and 16. A broken tackle as Bird comes up 3 yards shy of the first down, so Virginia will have to punt it away. Brandon May with his 11th tackle. And there's a flag down. And this might be against the Cavaliers. Personal foul.
After the play was over, personal foul, 31, offense, 15 yards, fourth down.
So Rashawn Jackson called for the personal foul after the play, basically wipes away the gain. And now Virginia will have to punt from inside their own 20-yard line.
You got to wonder a little bit of frustration from Rashawn Jackson. Coming in this game, he was the guy who was supposed to be towing the line for this offense, running the football, and Michael Simpson has been the guy tonight. A little bit of frustration on the part of Rashawn Jackson.
Ford calls for a fair catch and takes it at his own 32-yard line. 13:33 to go in the fourth quarter. Clemson back to the offense with a 13-point lead. And what a turnaround it's been for this group from the midseason point on.
Well, it really has, and from the first 5 games to the last 5 games, been a complete turnaround for this offense and Kyle Parker, completing only 48% of his passes in the first part of the year, now 63%. He threw 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the first 5 games, 14 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions in the second half, and this offense is starting to score more points, 42 points on average in the last 5 games. They have got it rolling, and Kyle Parker is a big reason why.
C.J. Spiller for a 2-yard gain to the 35.
And this offense, I think, can blossom from this point. Obviously, you have C.J. Spiller, Jacoby Ford. You've got a veteran offensive line that has done a great job in protecting Kyle Parker. And now, Kyle Parker's getting more and more reps under his belt, starting to mature. He has the experience. He's starting to execute third downs. This offense will get better as the season goes on, and that's what they want to peak as they go towards the ACC championship.
Parker off the play-action fake, pulls it back, and comes underneath to his big fullback again. Kendrick Taylor about a yard shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. And Parker is a perfect example, college football, as upset, I'm sure, as Clemson fans will be to see C.J. Spiller and Jacoby Ford go. You've got a redshirt freshman quarterback to hang your hat on. He's got 18 touchdown passes this season, 2 touchdown passes today. He should have been going to his senior prom 2 years ago, and at the same time he was enrolled here at Clemson and is a true freshman for the baseball team. Becomes a first-team All-ACC designated hitter. He's got 26 home runs coming into this spring after only 2 years of baseball.
My favorite thing is Billy Napier, offensive coordinator, said he's resilient. He throws an interception, doesn't get down. He comes back the next play, just...
Spiller stood up on 3rd down and 1 by Nate Collins.
Stout Virginia defense right here. Nowhere for Spiller to go. A big stop for this Cavalier defense, and Nate Collins led the way, their best player up front, giving themselves an opportunity to stay in this ball game, but they've got to get something going on offense.
Virginia almost blocked the punt, and it's a good kick. Vic Hall fields at his 12-yard line and is buried immediately. Byron Maxwell downfield to make the stop on special teams for Clemson. What a change of field position.
Horrible field position, but that's the way it's been all night for the Cavs. They got to get it going.
ESPN's College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Subway Restaurants. Watch this week's Subway Fresh Take video for a refreshing look at sports. Go to ESPN.com, search Fresh Take. America's largest.
Downtown Clemson, South Carolina. About a 9-iron from Death Valley. It's a great little college town. And Virginia backed up deep in their own end, once again trailing by 13 early in the 4th quarter.
6 of Virginia's last 7 possessions have started inside their own 20. It's tough to get out of that hole.
A broken tackle for only a yard for Perry Jones. Let's take a look at the standings in the ACC's Atlantic Division. Boston College already losing to North Carolina earlier. So because of that loss, even if Clemson were to lose to Virginia, they would still be the Atlantic Division champions and would have the rematch in 2 weeks in the ACC championship game with Georgia Tech. But Dabo Swinney, Brian, made a big deal about wanting to win this division outright, finish on an up note, close out senior day with a win over Virginia.
Well, and I think he has the right attitude. It's not about Virginia. It's about momentum for this Clemson team. They've got bigger sights this year. They want this ACC championship, and they want it outright, and they want a chance at a rematch with Georgia Tech.
Jones on a draw play. Fights his way out to about the 14-yard line as we take a look at our ACC conference update brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And how about the North Carolina defense? They take the ball away and score once they get it.
They are a scoring machine. 9 interceptions and 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Most defenses are happy with that in 2 years.
You can see it'll be Georgia Tech and Clemson, though, for the ACC championship in 2 weeks. 3rd down play for Sewell. On a roll. Brought down again. No, somehow he stays on his feet. Fires it across his body. Incomplete. Andre Branch should have had a sack inside the 5-yard line. And somehow Stuhl was able to stay on his feet.
Yeah, Andre Branch was draped all over him, had him dead to rights. It looked like his knee may have been down right there. Either way, another 3 and out for the Clemson Tiger defense.
Dabo Swinney ran all the way down to the line judge, and I believe even if the play is not reviewed by replay, he may challenge whether or not Sewell was down by contact.
Well, I think he wants to challenge it because if he's down around the 5-yard line, backing his kicker up, it'd be difficult to kick that ball out of the end zone. But it's hard to tell from that angle whether his knee was on the ground.
That cafe has been a long-standing tradition in college tailgating. For more than 20 years, the Clemson baseball has depended on fans on game day.
It certainly looked like it, but from that angle, there's not conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the field.
That might be the best look. Boy, you just can't tell.
Yeah,
and there has to be indisputable video evidence to say that the call on the field was wrong. The call on the field was that he stayed up on his feet.
And the official was right on top of it, and he's the one making the decision. It's going to be hard to overturn the call on the field, but
just to clarify, even though Dabo Swinney ran down the sideline and was certainly trying to alert the officials that he wanted this to be reviewed and maybe was going to use a challenge, he didn't have to use a challenge. The replay booth did buzz down in time. So this is just an official's review. So if it came to it, Clemson would still have a challenge left.
And again, you back that ball up to the 4-yard line. It's a whole new ball game, kicking the ball out of the end zone with the kicker with his foot on the back end line. And Jimmy Howell, the punter for the Cavaliers, is probably the one most interested in the outcome of this call, whether he's going to have some breathing room or not. The other bad part is that you got to kick the ball to Jacoby Ford and C.J. Spiller.
Now, the look you're seeing right here is probably the best replay that we have, and that's the replay that the officials in the booth are getting a look at. And so if you're at home, can you tell right there if his knee was definitively down? Again, the call on the field was that he was not down. Although sometimes when a review takes this long, they're taking a look at how much time should be on the clock, where the ball should be spotted. Sometimes when a review takes a while, it's because they are overturning the call. This will be interesting to see what the decision is from the replay booth. Here we go.
After further review, the ruling on the field is reversed. We have to run her down at the 3.5-yard line. 4th down. Will the play clock operator, the game clock operator, please reset to 10:05. 10:05. Thank you.
So they rule him down inside the 5-yard line. And again, Brian, sometimes it's a bad sign when you don't want the call to be overturned, when you see it take a while, because now they have to determine, all right, where was he down? How much time is on the clock? And there's some bookkeeping that goes into making sure everything is in line.
Yeah. And when he announced that it was overturned, Jimmy Howell's head went to his chest. And it's bad enough to kick the ball out of your end zone backed up with a heavy rush. To stare down the barrel at the fastest 2 men in college football is even worse.
Pretty good kick up the sideline, and it goes out of bounds as they try and keep it away from Ford. He hit it well, but let's see where it crossed the sideline. At the 40-yard line of Virginia. That's where this drive will start for Clemson with 9:45 to go in the 4th quarter. Only a 37-yard punt. So the reversal. 2-touchdown lead for the Tigers here at Clemson. And Sunday in the comeback story of the year, Whitney Houston will perform live. With 5 nominations, will Michael Jackson be the night's biggest winner? Plus performances by the Black Eyed Peas, Carrie Underwood, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and many more. The American Music Awards live tomorrow night at 8/7 Central on ABC. C.J. Spiller back to work, a gain of a yard.
You know, we asked C.J. Yesterday. I asked him what he liked to do most on the football field. Was it kick return, punt returns, running the ball, catching the ball? And surprisingly, he said that he really enjoyed running the ball between the tackles. Now, not what I expected to hear from him, and I don't know if he was trying to convince me that he was going to become a more physical back, but if he's going to play at the next level, that's something that he has to have in his repertoire, and he's gotten much better at that this season over the last 3 years.
With a bubble screen to Ford. He is spun down inside the 35-yard line, about 3 yards shy of a first down by Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson for the tackle.
Well, C.J. Spiller, as you said, his partner in crime is Jacoby Ford. He's got 100 yards receiving to go along with 1 carry for 16 yards, some punt return, kick return yardage as well. Those two are approaching 11,000 career all-purpose yards combined, and they're also the third and anchor leg on the 4x100 relay team at Clemson. There's the baton pass between the two back in the spring. Play action on third down. Parker, all the time in the world, tries to run for it, gets pulled down at the 35-yard line. Denzel Burrell made the stop, and again Parker's slow to get up.
Denzel Burrell with the tackle. Loss of a yard on the play.
Looked like he may have caught his ankle underneath. When you get dragged down from behind as a quarterback and the defender falls on your legs, it's prime time for a sprained ankle, and right there it looked like he may have got that right ankle caught underneath him.
Ouch.
Yeah, either the toe, that could be a toe, or an ankle.
Well, normally at the 35-yard line in college, you see a lot of coaches go for it. Coach Swinney opting for a 52-yard field goal attempt here by Jackson. It's got plenty of leg. No good. Just did hook it to the left. So Clemson comes away empty, and with 7 minutes, 29 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, the lead still only 13. Bob Wischusen and Brian Griese back in Death Valley. Still some hope for Virginia. Down by 13, but they've got the football midway through the fourth quarter as that last possession for Clemson, Brian, starts at the plus 40-yard line. No points as they miss a long field goal.
Virginia's defense has really been good throughout this ball game, been put in very difficult positions. Clemson's gotten the ball in Virginia territory 5 times tonight. And Virginia's done a good job of keeping them out of the end zone.
Play action fake. Sewell steps up. Throws one down the sideline, looking for his running back Jones, and he's got it. Perry Jones with a big play inside the 30-yard line of Clemson.
The same play that they had run in the first half to Michael Simpson, they come back with Perry Jones. And what a tremendous catch by Perry Jones right there. Great catch, getting behind the defense, and same look, different player. Clemson beat on it twice in this game.
That one play quadrupled the second half offensive yardage for Virginia. Sewell rolling out under pressure and throws the ball in the dirt. And then flags come out. This might be intentional grounding. Rennie Moore brought the pressure.
Well, they tried to set up the screen and through the tight end.
Offense.
Allen, and Sewell gets back into the pocket. Now the tight end number 83 is outside of the pocket, and Sewell just needed to throw the ball in the vicinity of his tight end, but he didn't get the ball anywhere near him. If it's a screen play and you have pressure and you want to throw the football away, at least get it close to the guy you're throwing to on the screen. But right there, Sewell makes a mistake and doesn't get the ball anywhere near him.
What a huge momentum-killing call. It's a loss of 17 yards after the big play to Perry Jones. So it's second down and 27 now. And a timeout called by Virginia. A quick timeout. 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here at Clemson. The blitz is on. He wants to throw, has a man open. Headed down the sideline, can he score? Touchdown!
He's got all day to run, but he's going to throw upfield, and a great catch on the fly. Throwing tacklers inside and headed for the end zone. And right up the middle, pulling his way forward. Does he cross the goal line? He does! Touchdown!
It's up for grabs. Who's going to come down with it? Back in Clemson after a quick timeout with our Pacific Life game summary. And in the first half for Virginia, Brian Griese, a lot of trick plays, a lot of wildcat, a lot of yards and 21 points. Not much in the second half.
Yeah, different ball game. And before that last pass to Perry Jones, they had 15 yards of offense in the second half and had not converted a third down. And 2-1 in time of possession, they were down to Clemson. So But they're still in this ball game after everything negative that's happened. If they can get something on this drive, get back in this game.
Jones. Not much on 2nd down and 27 as we check in with Matt Weiner.
All right, Bob, just over in South Bend, overtime number 2 for UConn and Notre Dame. That's Andre Dixon to put it away. Charlie Weiss's 3rd straight loss. The Vultures may be circling in South Bend. Virginia, no trouble with NC State in the 4th.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. 3rd down and 28. Can the Cavaliers just get into field goal range? Sewell under pressure and sacked on his own side of the 50-yard line. A late flag comes out.
There's a flag on the play.
A personal foul called against the defense of Clemson. That's like a turnover.
It looked like Cavell Connor, the linebacker, came in and had a helmet-to-helmet hit on Jamil Sewell.
Personal foul, illegal helmet contact, defense, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
And I understand the emotion of the game, and you want to make a play, and you're senior in your last game at home. Cavell Connor, number 17, comes around. You just have to be smart in this situation and goes for the head there, goes for a kill shot, and it could be questionable whether that's a penalty, but the bottom line is you don't want to have any doubt in your mind. You don't want to give the official an opportunity to call that play. A huge momentum shift in this game.
Looks like a turnover. A 1st down after the penalty for Virginia. Play action fake. Sewell looks for the end zone. Into traffic, incomplete. Intended for Chris Bird, but it was into the heart of double coverage. And the crowd still booing the call. And as we got another look at that call, I'm not sure if he actually hit him helmet to helmet. I thought that the helmet of Connor may have hit the shoulder pad of Jamil Sewell.
Yeah, it may have been the shoulder pad, may have been the helmet. You know, it's questionable, but right here, Chris Chancellor does a good job of running with Chris Bird down the field. Chancellor, number 38, and then Sadat Chambers comes over and gets in the way there. And another opportunity for a potential flag right there in Chambers, but a no call.
Rashawn Jackson shut down behind the line, a loss of 4, maybe 5 yards. That's Cavell Connor getting it done again.
Here's Connor again in the middle of your screen, and right now is a conventional offense. University of Virginia is not getting on their blocks, not doing what they did in the first half, and this Clemson defense is starting to feed on this Cavalier offense. 15 tackles for the 5th-year senior, Cavell Connor, tonight. This is his 50th consecutive football game for the Clemson Tigers. He has been a stalwart for this defense, and a great way for him to go out in his last game at home.
Sewell on 3rd and 14, up the seam, knocked away. Intended for Vic Hall. Marcus Gilchrist, the free safety, knocked it down. And now, 5 minutes to go, you're down 2 touchdowns. It's 4th down and 14. You're probably compelled to go for it.
I think you have to go for it. There's nothing to lose for Algro and the Virginia team. And you want to get Jamil Sewell out of the pocket, let him extend the play, and allow his receivers downfield to get to first down depth. They've had a problem protecting him tonight. Got to give him options on the edge. Roll him out. Allow him to throw the ball down the field.
Sewell under pressure again. Buying some time. Incomplete. Chris Chancellor was there in coverage, and he knocked it away. A turnover on downs for the Cavaliers with under 5 minutes to go.
Great play by Chancellor to stay with his receiver. That's a long time to cover a wide receiver, and Chancellor's one of the best in the business, and he is all over Inman right there. That play took about 6 or 7 seconds, and for Chancellor to run around the field with a wide receiver, he doesn't know where he's going. That's a difficult assignment, but he did it to perfection right there.
C.J. Spiller driven back. Virginia also had to call 2 timeouts earlier on in the half. So they only have 1 timeout remaining. Even if you force Clemson 3 downs and out, those timeouts that you spent earlier on in the half really come back and haunt you at this point.
Yeah, they do, and you know the timeouts are secondary right now. It's this offense not being able to get anything going in the second half after abandoning really what worked for them in the first half was the wildcat and the reverse perimeter plays, and they really haven't done any of that. In the second half, they've come out and tried to run the ball out of the eye and throw the ball and drop back, and those are the 2 things that this offense has not been able to do all year.
Up the middle goes Andre Ellington.
And off to C.J. Spiller.
As we're now under 4 minutes to go.
Pick up of 2 yards on the play.
So Clemson, barring a miracle now from Virginia, is going to not just win the Atlantic Division, but win it in style with 6 straight wins to close out the ACC season. Still 1 regular season game to go, which basically amounts for the state championship next week as they'll go to take on Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks down in Columbia. And then it'll be the ACC championship game against Georgia Tech, and then potentially with a win there, the BCS Bowl game. Screen to Spiller. Caught from behind. I wonder if Al Groh might opt to use a timeout here with 3:05 remaining. And yes, Virginia will spend their last timeout trying to save those precious seconds here late in the 4th quarter. (34-21), Clemson has the lead. And the crowd's serenading Dabo Swinney.
I love that. They're singing happy birthday to Dabo Swinney in the crowd. 89,000.
Turned 40 yesterday, the youngest head coach in the ACC. This is his first full season. Last year he was the interim coach. Zimmerman to punt. A lower kick, this one returnable for Vic Hall. Hall takes a shot and goes down at about the 31-yard line, and Vic Hall is the subject of our City Inside View.
Yeah, Vic Hall's done it all for Virginia this year, and he threw a touchdown pass earlier, and there he is. Earlier in the game, he's going to come on a reverse and throw the ball to the tight end in the corner. Virginia needed more of this in this game. In the second half, we haven't seen much of it, but very creative on offense in the first half for Virginia, scoring 21 points, and Vic Hall was a big part of that. They needed more of that in the second half.
I'm not sure there are many trick plays that you can draw up at this point, though, with 2:51 to go going against a dime coverage needing 2 touchdowns. A modest gain underneath the bird. Check that Inman on the reception. And the clock rolling down.
And this is not the strength of this team throwing the football in the drop-back mode.
The escapability, though, by Sewell to keep the play alive. And eventually, they're just too many Tigers. Ricky Sapp was there on the stop, along with Brandon May. Over the middle, this time Bird makes the catch in space. First down and out of bounds.
That's complete number 18, Chris Bird.
Virginia needs big chunk plays. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds in this ball game, and down 2 scores. They need to get the ball down the field. Sewell needs to take some chances to get some big chunks and take some shots at the end zone to get in this game. But
Sewell, again buying time, this time throws it away over the head of Vic Hall and out of bounds. With a bounce-back win last weekend in Phoenix, Jimmy Johnson looks to drive into the record books taking a shot at his 4th straight NASCAR Sprint Cup championship. The chase concludes with the Ford 400 at Homestead. Coverage begins tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern on ABC with NASCAR Countdown. False start called against Virginia.
False start, 61, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
And Al Groh's got to be wondering, what do I got to do? Trick plays, a Wildcat, scored 21 points in the first half of this game. He's been playing pretty good defense all year, and then his defense gives up 34 points in this game to Clemson. I understand Clemson has been playing well on offense, but just offense, defense, and special teams have not been working together this year for Virginia and Al Groh. And tremendous coach, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure after this season's over.
Here comes the blitz on 2nd down. Sewell under pressure, and he'll go down. No escaping that rush from Cresden Butler. But check that, Jeremy Campbell.
When you're in the 2-minute drill and the defense knows you're going to pass, you're going to get all kind of blitzes, and that time Campbell came around the edge and nowhere for Sewell to go.
3rd down and a mile, under 90 seconds remaining. And that time Campbell drops back in pass coverage to knock it away from Vic Hall. And it's 4th down and 24.
Jeremy Campbell.
I've been impressed in the second half of this football game after Clemson gave up 21 points in the first half with the way that Kevin Steele and this defense really came back and made the adjustments at halftime. And this staff under Dabo Swinney that he's put together really coaching well, and the team is playing well. And you can see they love Dabo here in Clemson, and a birthday splash for their young coach.
Clemson's defense ends it in style. Rennie Moore with another sack. And now that all that remains is for the Tigers to take a knee.
Rennie Moore coming around the outside, and it's a tough assignment to block the offensive lineman on 4th and 25. And an excited Dabo Swinney, the exclamation point to a great night for Dabo. Even more important, a great night for the seniors on this Clemson football team, meaning so much to them. The last time they play in Death Valley and Memorial Stadium, to go out with a win and to do it in style, and to know that not only do they win tonight, but they've got the in-state matchup with South Carolina next week and an ACC championship opportunity in Tampa Bay.
For a man that last season went from when he was in the conference room with the other coaches and it was announced by the athletic director that Coach Bowden would not be coming back, to thinking he wasn't going to have a job at all. He's on that staff and he thinks he's being fired, to 10 minutes later going up to the AD's office and being told you're the interim head coach and you have a chance to keep this job, to keeping the job, to winning the first ever Atlantic Division title for Clemson since the ACC went to the divisional alignment, to now having a chance 2 weeks from now to take on Georgia Tech for the first ACC title since 1991. What a year and what a roller coaster it's been for Dabo Swinney. And now it's a curtain call because Clemson calls a timeout and they want to get their seniors all in the game for at least the last couple of snaps. And a curtain call for C.J. Spiller. How happy is C.J. Spiller that he decided to come back for his senior year? His mom told him that she thought he should possibly go pro. And he said, no, Mom, I'm coming back. I want to finish out my career at Clemson.
Well, what a career it's been for him here in Death Valley, and the love and adoration of all of his teammates and all of the fans here in Death Valley, not only for what he's meant to this Clemson program on the field, but what he's meant to this community and the way that he's carried himself throughout his career at Clemson to set the example for every single player on this team. And for kids at home watching, if you're going to follow somebody, that's the role model to follow right there.
The Clemson Tigers are Atlantic Division champions in the ACC. They'll play at South Carolina at noon next Saturday. And again, we'll have for you on ABC or on ESPN, pardon me. And then Dabo Swinney's team will have a chance to play for the ACC championship in a rematch with Georgia Tech in 2 weeks.
And they feel confident with their chances. They feel like they were robbed back in September and can't wait for the opportunity against the Yellow Jackets in Tampa Bay.
What a scene here at Clemson. Another win for the Tigers in Death Valley. And what a way to go out for C.J. Spiller. His final home game. A 34-21 win for Clemson over Virginia. For Brian Greasy and the rest of our crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Clemson. We're on Senior Day. C.J. Spiller and the rest of the Clemson Tiger seniors go out winners. Let's head back to the studio.
Back to our